Maha Cartoon TV. Independence for the witches. There was a village somewhere named Kalpur. Kalpur village was one very eminent village. The most fascinating thing about this village was that not just ordinary humans, but the witches also lived in harmony and peace there. The villagers from the adjacent village never visited Kalpur because they were petrified that the witches would eat them. But little did they know, the reality in fact was very different from what it looked. The witches there lived just like ordinary humans and earned their living, and weren't even creepy to look at. But then, somehow a few city people got to know about it, and they decided to go and check whether what they heard was true or not.
This is actually true. No matter how far you can see, the witches are outnumbering the humans.
You are right. Let's immediately move and tell this in the higher authority.
Looking at the entire scenario in the village, both of them went, and the next day when they returned, they weren't alone. Both of them were accompanied by a senior officer and a truck which carried big and heavy machines. All of this scared the innocent villagers.
Hey you! What are these machines for? And why have you got them here?
We got this information that in this village, the witches live in harmony with humans. So we have come here to find out whether this information is correct or not.
The senior officer named Deepak told them that they wanted to conduct a minor operation on the witches to find out if they are truly witches or someone else in the get-up of witches. The villagers didn't understand the logic behind and told the officer that they are all real witches they have been living with for years and there's nothing to operate. But still, Deepak tried to convince them by saying that they would leave after the result comes out. And besides that, he also told the villagers that after this operation, Kalpur village will become even more eminent, and also after the operation, the village will become #1 tourist spot, which will result into more opportunities for the businesses to grow alongside the name and fame. On listening to this proposal, all the villagers became really happy because they never expected that something this would happen to them. The sun had settled, and so everyone came out of their homes. Deepak and his mates had arranged all the machines amid the village and invited a witch named Kanta to the machine for the experiment. And seeing this, all the villagers were still in shock. The experiment went on for hours. The night grew darker.
Excuse me, mister. Till what time will this experiment of yours will continue? Look, it's gotten so late and dark.
I understand. Just a few more minutes. Then everything will be come out in front of everyone. You don't worry.
Somebody save me! They will take out all the blood of my body!
Witnessing that painful side of Kanta suffering in pain, the villagers were very concerned and asked Deepak to stop the experiment and let Kanta off that machine immediately. But suddenly, they saw that Kanta's body got shrunk and fell on the floor. It looked as if every tiny drop of blood in her body was squeezed out. Seeing this, the villagers got all furious and moved towards Deepak and his fellows to kick them out of the village. And just then, an exorcist walked past that area.
Everyone, stop where you are. If any of you take one more step, I will kill all the witches in this village.
The villagers couldn't comprehend anything that was happening to them. And just then, Deepak took out a bottle of blood from the machine and handed over to the exorcist.
Take this, Mr. Exorcist. We have completed our task and it's your turn now. You have to help us complete the other task to execute our mission.
The villagers were still unable to figure out stuff. But just then, the exorcist said,
All you villagers are so easy to fool. None of them is any officer who has come here for any damn experiment. They all are terrorists. It was a part of plan, and you will see how much destruction we will cause.
Basically, the exorcist, Deepak, and his other two mates were all well versed with each other, and it was their plan to extract the blood of a witch and use it for major destruction in the country on the coming of 15th of August. With the blood of a witch, they captured all the other witches and planned a massacre with the help of the witches. All the villagers got to know about it very late. They were vulnerable. They didn't know how to save their witches from the clutches of these filthy terrorists. And on the other hand, the exorcist had already started his spells with the blood of the dead witch and captured all the witches into the bottle one by one.
Let me warn you that I don't appreciate smart people, and if any one of you try to mess with me, then remember that the lives of all these dear witches are in my hand. You better don't act smart with me. I can finish them all anytime I want.
Saying this, the exorcist and the terrorist left from there, and the villagers sat there for the entire night and started to contemplate as to how to get rid of this problem and how to push it away.
Oh Lord, what has happened? I just can't comprehend things. On one hand, that exorcist has captured the witches of our village, and the other hand, these wicked people are planning such a massive destruction on the day of the independence of the nation. Oh God, we have to do something immediately. We don't have time.
The villagers still had 3 days to come for the Independence Day and to figure out something and to come up with an escape plan. The villagers wanted to put an end on all the terrorist activities happening in the nation, and for that, they preferred to end these activities what started them. And everyone went to an eminent exorcist of the village and told him everything. On listening to that, even the exorcist started to ponder.
Even I am listening about such a spell for the first time in my life. I will need a little time to find out a counter spell.
Mr. Exorcist, please understand that we don't have a lot of time in our hand. Please try and do something immediately.
Don't you worry, I will definitely do something today itself.
To find an escape to this problem, the exorcist took the time of an entire day. And the next evening, all the villagers yet again visited the exorcist.
Honestly, the situation is massive and I haven't been able to find out any solution of this.
All the villagers stood there completely shook when they heard what the exorcist told them, and everyone started to feel disheartened that now they won't be able to protect the witches and most importantly, their nation. And just then, the exorcist said,
But there is an alternative.
And what is it? Tell us.
See, I can fight the exorcist and I might defeat him.
Listening to this, all the villagers saw a little ray of hope. And next evening, everyone headed towards the jungle where that exorcist and all the terrorists were planning to exploit the entire nation on 15th of August. They all reached the spot after the dusk, where they saw that all the goons amid the jungle with tons of weapons were chanting some spells.
Your time is over now.
All the terrorists and the exorcist sitting with them stood up on hearing the voice of the second exorcist. And then,
Oh, so now you have come here also, huh?
I was damn sure that it will be you behind all these mess. Well, good for me. I'm gonna teach you a great lesson today.
I guess you have forgotten that how badly I defeated you in the last battle.
One shouldn't consider a battle won with a fraud as his victory.
Do whatever you want to do. I will still emerge victorious.
When it comes to the nation that has given me so much, I very well know how to convert my defeat into victory.
both the exorcists were old foes of each other. They had a severe tussle, and when the villagers got to know about the reality, they were petrified. And then, without wasting any time, the exorcists, with their knowledge of spells, started to attack each other. On experiencing this battle, all the terrorists got a little scared, after which all of them took hold of their weapons. But the battle didn't stop. This battle wasn't reaching any conclusion. But just then, the second exorcist who had come with the villagers fell on the ground injured.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Yeah! I warn you not to mess with me, or else you will get it in your face. Yeah!
Witnessing their savior in such a critical situation, the villagers were disheartened and gave up all their hopes. But just then,
I told you that if it's about my nation, I won't lose. I won't lose.
saying this, the exorcist took a parrot out from his bag, and after having a glance at it, the other exorcist turned all pale.
You are such a fraud!
Isn't this how you won the previous battle? This time, it's your turn. I'm gonna play your tricks on you. I won't lose this time.
Actually, that parrot had the life of that exorcist. And if that parrot is killed, then the exorcist won't stay alive either. And in order to protect the villagers and the witches, the exorcist killed the parrot with his magical powers.
Yeah! Ah! Yeah! You fraud! I won't leave you! Yeah!
He died on the spot. After which, all his spells and magic went back to normal, and all the witches got freed. But the terrorists got all furious because of the death of their exorcist, and so they started firing their pistols. But the witches already had an idea of their intention, and using their powers, the witches turned all those terrorists into ashes. And nobody realized amid this fight that a new day had begun. But this new day was super special because it brought a new life to the village on the morning of the 15th of August. This was the day the villagers managed to protect not just their village but the whole nation. And living this day, all the villagers and the witches were really happy.
Finally, we have been able to save our nation from a lethal massacre and our witches from a fatal capture life. This feeling is very special to us.
And just like this, the villagers unexpectedly saved the entire nation from a massive terrorist attack and started to live happily ever after since then.
If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and comment, and to be the first person to watch our videos, make sure to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for timely notifications.